Welcome back to EDFF. It's Ding, and we're going to continue our wide receiver discussion from the other night. We're going to look at wide receivers 21 through 40. In general, there's going to be some big changes from last year. A lot of guys who were in the 21 through 40 slots are not going to be there this year. There are going to be some crazy ones that I'm going to talk about. There's going to be some guys who definitely drop, some guys who rise. Again, we're looking at potential and opportunity. And just, keep in mind, a lot of the guys within this 21 through 40, they can move. So don't get your heart set on one, or don't get all bent up out of shape because somebody's at 32 and he should be at like 25. Believe me, the difference between these guys and this ranking structure of 21 through 40 is like maybe 10 to 15 points. A lot of these guys are very equal. So if there's somebody you like to root for, someone you believe in more, and you want to take them, then go ahead and take them. Just make sure you don't overpay for his ADP. Like if it's somebody who normally goes in like the 10th, 12th round, I have Thielen in here, by the way. Spoiler alert. He goes in the 15th round. I wouldn't take him, numbers 21 through 40. Those guys normally go, somewhere in the neighborhood of the rounds 5 through 9, 5 through 10. So don't go taking Thielen here in these rounds. Go grab somebody else that you really want and then wait on Thielen. Just an example. Let's jump right in. Let's talk about number 21. And I already know there's going to be a lot of grumblings over my list, but that's okay. Like I said, a lot can happen in this range. At number 21, I have Tyreek Hill. Quarterback play is an issue. Injuries are an issue. He's already got an oblique injury. His attitude is an issue. He has the potential to blow up. He has the potential to be a top 15, top 10. He's done it before. Question mark is Tua. Can he stay healthy? We saw what happened last year. If Tua's not healthy, Hill's not going to perform. A lot of upside here. Great pick at 21. Remember, though, Hill is going in the third round. So if you're going to grab him, then you're going to have to get him in the third round. All right, number 22, I have Cooper Kupp. I think he has a resurgence back in Seattle. He's healthy, 100 targets, 9 touchdowns. I think that's a very real possibility with a new quarterback in Seattle. JSN on the other side, I think at 22 is really solid for him. At 23, I have DK Metcalf. I think his targets are going to increase by like 50%. I think he's going to see 150 targets, 3 or 4 extra touchdowns. He's got one of the easiest schedules out there. It's a no-brainer that DK paired with Aaron Rodgers is a win-win. I just hope that the coach sees it that way because, the Steelers, they like to run the ball a lot. At number 24, I have Harrison. Last year, he didn't do so well. Second year, I'm hoping he has a little bit more of a breakout. He has command of all the targets besides McBride. It's really about Murray getting him the ball. Second year with Murray, I think he's got a lot more confidence. He's going to run the routes a little bit crisper. I just hope that Murray can get him the ball. It was just disappointing last year to see Murray overthrow him constantly. All right, number 25. Now, this is going to be the comeback player of the year. This is going to be a shocker. I have Stephon Diggs. Now, I like Drake May. I think he's going to have a breakout year. I think he's going to make top 12, maybe, top 10 potential quarterback. I know that sounds crazy, but I think he does. And Diggs is going to be the reason for that. He looks healthy. I know he came off a big injury, and usually guys who really blow out their knees like that, I stay away from them. But he looks healthy right now, and I think he has a great chance. He's a competitor, a warrior out there, and he still has great speed. So I'd like to see Diggs here at 25. Number 26, I have DJ Moore. Now, I'm not a fan of any of the players on Chicago. I normally like to stay away from him, but you can't deny the fact that DJ Moore, he gets the majority of the targets. I don't think Dunzee's second year is going to be any kind of breakout. I know Luther Burden came in. He looks good, but it's still DJ Moore. He's going to get all the targets. He just doesn't get a lot of touchdowns, and that's his problem. That's why he's in this range. That preseason game was a joke, 38 points. Everyone's like, oh, the Bears are going to be amazing. No, they're not. Caleb Williams is terrible. The fact that I have DJ Moore here, it's part of the business. At 27 and 28, I'm going to lump these two together. I have teammates, A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. Now, I will say that A.J. Brown, he's battling a soft tissue issue. So I think, Devonta Smith could be a safer play here. But they say, or at least I anticipate, both of these guys will be healthy. The problem is they don't see more than 100 targets, and they don't play full seasons, either of them. So really take your pick. I mean, AJ, unbelievable player. There's no question, but he needs to stay healthy, and he already has soft tissue injuries. Devonta, he's healthy, so, it depends on how you're looking at it. They have a bottom half strength of schedule, and one of their high-scoring games, which is going to be against Washington, they lose that in Week 18. So that's kind of why they're down here if you're asking yourself that question. At number 29, it's Garrett Wilson. I already know what you're going to say. Garrett Wilson was a top 10 last year. Yes, he was. I think he loses 20% of his targets. Let's talk about why. Justin Fields is a train wreck as a quarterback. He's an excellent runner with the ball. He looks at his first read, and then he's gone. You see it in the preseason. Let's talk about the preseason for a second. Garrett Wilson, 0 for 4 on balls from Justin Fields because Justin Fields has no accuracy. 6 games last year, Justin Fields, what did he do? He averaged 200 yards or less and 1 passing touchdown. That's his quarterback stats. Yeah, he ran the ball a lot, but that doesn't help out Garrett Wilson. This pick is purely an opportunity and potential, but I'm telling you right now, Wilson is going to be upset that Fields is his quarterback. I don't care if they win games. Remember, Pittsburgh went 6-0, and this guy barely threw the ball. 20 to 30 attempts per game. That's not going to get Wilson 150 targets. He's going to get 100 targets at best, which is why he drops into this range. You know I'm right. Calvin Ridley is number 30. I know that's crazy. He's got a brand new quarterback, but Ward looks like he's not afraid to sling the ball. He's going to command the targets. Yes, rookie quarterback. That's why he's number 30. But Ridley is still a very talented wide receiver, and I think there's an opportunity for him to be right here in the middle. At 31, I have Zay Flowers. His downside is the fact that he doesn't get a whole lot of touchdowns. Why? Henry and Jackson, they take them all. Let's face it, that makes sense. That's why they make it to the AFC Championship a lot. He does get about 100 to 120 targets. If he got a couple more touchdowns, that would put him solidly at number 31 where I have him. At number 32, I have Jennings from San Francisco. Now, I know his injury is a big question mark. I'm taking a risk here, hoping that he's going to be ready for the season. If you get a full season from Jennings, he's going to give you 14, 15 points a game, which is actually outplaying this number of 32. Seriously, that's a really good number, but it's a high risk play. So if you want to get some exposure to San Francisco, he's a great target. If CMC is healthy, yeah, his numbers will be dropping, but I don't think CMC is going to be healthy. And if you listen to my running back show, you know that. All right, at number 33, Jennings' old teammate, I have Deebo Samuel. Yes, I know he's going to Washington, and that's where McLaurin is, but McLaurin's still not playing, and they're going to figure out ways to get Deebo the ball. It's a good backup. If McLaurin ends up not signing, then Deebo really jumps. So this is one of those high-risk plays that you could go with. I think he's still going to get 100 touches on the season. Really comes down to how many touchdowns he gets, and that's why he's at 33. At number 34, I have Rashee Rice. I don't like this at all. I think the guy is probably going to jail. He's going to get suspended for sure. This is just a high risk. I'm staying away from it. On talent alone, even if he gets suspended a couple of games, this is where he is. I don't think Mahomes can hit him anymore. I really don't. Mahomes' accuracy on the deep ball is terrible. He couldn't hit Worthy last year, even when Worthy's wide open. I don't think he can hit Rashee Rice either. And that's why Worthy's not even in this list. At number 35, I have the new rookie Golden at Green Bay. He's really the only wide receiver that's healthy. I like Reed a lot, but Love can't hit him. Christian Watson is out. Dobbs, I think, is nursing something, but he's in, he's out. You know how I feel about Jordan Love. He can't hit the broadside of a barn. That's why Jacobs gets 330 touches a season. Love just cannot hit anybody. But this Matthew Golden kid, he's good underneath. He's got good hands. He can stretch the field. I think Love can hit this kid. That's why he's at 35. By the way, that's the first Green Bay receiver at 35. And they're thinking that Green Bay is going to win the NFC North. At 36, I have Igbuka, the rookie in Tampa Bay. So 2 rookies right next to each other. I actually like Igbuka better than Golden, but from an opportunity standpoint, somebody's going to command targets immediately. Golden is there. Igbuka, they're going to manufacture touches. I think he moves into the slot position and he takes over Godwin's targets right away. I don't know if Godwin comes back this season. I really don't think he will. I don't think he plays at all. And that gives Igbuka a real opportunity here to, get 100 targets and a few touchdowns. He's high upside. You could see him finishing in the top 25. At 37, here's Adam Thielen. We already talked about him a little bit. Before his injury last season, he was averaging, ready for this, 6 catches for 60 yards and a touchdown per game. I want that in my starting lineup. If he can stay healthy, this is an amazing pick at 37. At 38, I have Keenan Allen. Reunited and feels so good, right? Seriously, he's going to get about 100 targets. It's really coming down to his touchdowns here. I think he's a great red zone target. That was something they were missing last year. There's already an injury to Quentin Johnson. So between him and McConkey, who have similar skill sets, I think they both see at least 100 targets apiece. And that's really solid for Keenan Allen. And he finished in this range last year with the same amount of targets. At 39, I have my first Buffalo receiver, and that's Shakir. And I don't really like it because he's not all that healthy. I'm really worried about him. I think he still has that injury. They're saying, oh, we expect him to be ready for week 1. I have him in here because if he's healthy, this is the guy you're going to want to grab. And I know everyone's talking about Keon Coleman as the breakout. And I want to see that too. I think that kid has a lot of talent, but he has the dropsies. We all know this. Shakir is that, that nice warm blanket that Allen always looks at. So it's a high running team. Allen always takes all the touchdowns. So it really comes down to can Shakir get 6 to 8 touchdowns? We'll see. And then rounding it out at number 40, I hate this pick. I'm just going to tell you right off the bat, but there's a lot of upside potential here. And it's Olave. After getting hurt last season, he's kind of been injured, but now he's back. Shaheed might actually get more touchdowns than this kid, but he is technically the alpha on New Orleans. I think New Orleans has a terrible season. The 2 rookie quarterbacks, they just can't hit the broadside of a barn. Can they hit this tall target? I hope so. I could see him falling out of the top 40. I could see him popping 5, maybe even 7 spots here, depending on his usage. And again, that's the whole point, isn't it? In this particular range, anything can happen. And that's why I recommend if you're in this range, plus or minus 5, and it's someone you like to root for, they're on your team, they're not injured, they have a pretty decent schedule, some of the things that we've already talked about, then go get that guy. Just make sure that you don't overpay for him based on his ADP. I mean, some of these guys like Golden, he's going in the 9th round. Pearsall, I didn't even talk about that guy. Great hands. He's going to be somebody, but he's not going to see 100 touches. Not this season, not in my opinion. Dunzee's going in the 6th round. I don't even have him in this top 40. There's all kinds of issues here. If you want somebody in this range, then get them when it makes sense. And if you really want them, if you need to pay up a little bit, then go ahead and get them. But remember, the total number of points you would expect from somebody in this range is plus or minus 20 throughout the entire range of the 21 to 40. Look at bye weeks. That's another thing to look at. How does this impact the bye weeks of, say, your top 2 wide receivers? Is it a good fill-in? Is it going to be a conflict? That's the kind of thing you're looking for in 21 through 40. Somebody you like, somebody who's going to give you those points, good bye week replacement, not hurt, with a good quarterback, all of those good things. That does it for the show tonight. And as always, we're going to give a shout out to the men and women in uniform who protect the freedoms that we hold dear. Thank you for your service and sacrifice. And thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the show, follow us on X, YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts so you can stay up to date on our latest content. And until then, remember, established dominance isn't just a catchphrase. It's a commitment. Are you ready?